What up? What up? Come on in. Come hang. What's going on? Shoot, we hanging. Spending time together. So, we getting this thing together. We got everything and everybody working. What's good? What's happening? What up? We got everything working. What's happening? Come on in. I'm waiting for everybody. We got everything rocking. Everything rolling. What's good? Who I got with me? What's up? What's good? We got the Facebook Live working. Instagram working. YouTube working. Now, I asked the queen, Tony Island. I said, Tony, what should we talk about tonight? She's like, well, can we talk about drama? Can we talk about stress and how, stressful people and stressful things impact our weight? Because one of the biggest obstacles I have, she said, is trying to maintain my weight loss in the midst of everybody else's stuff. Now, the important thing to get from that, she said, in the midst of everybody else's stuff, not her stuff, but in the midst of everybody else's drama. Okay, you trying to lose 10, 15, 20, 40, 60, 100 pounds, but people won't let you be great because people always want to drag you in their drama. Okay? Now, this is especially hard, especially if you're an emotional eater. So if you're one of those people who, every time something kind of happens to you, you just, boom, you here, or you here, you in trouble, especially if you come from a dramatic background. Again, for some of y'all, it's a life or death situation that you have to lose weight. For some of y'all, it's one of those deals to where your self-esteem is tied into it. So if you don't get your weight, if you don't get your look right, if you don't get not only your physical health, but your mental health and your spiritual health together, then you ain't no good for nobody. You ain't good for nobody. So a few things that won't let you be great. And one of the things, and I've been doing this for a minute, okay? And these are some of the attributes, and these are some of the things that won't let you be great. This is some of the reasons why you're not where you need to be right now. Number one, let's go to the list. Number one, the reasons why you ain't where you need to be, either weight-wise or life-wise. You let people suck you into their stuff. You let people suck you into their stuff. Now keep in mind, you got your own stuff going on. You got your own issues. You got stuff that, you hadn't handled yet. You probably still got years and years of stuff on your back that you still struggling with, that you never got over. But now, when mama called, mama needs your help with something. You probably got a kid right now. And if you're over 40, you probably got grandkids right now. So not only do you have to struggle with the issues of your kid, but now you have to deal with the struggles of your grandchildren. Sound familiar? Now, number two, some of the things that stop you and prevent you from being great, stop you from being where you want to be. You can't say no to people. You feel obligated to try to save everybody, but you neglect yourself. You hear me say this all the time. You can't be everything to everybody, but mean absolutely nothing to yourself. Let me say it again. You can't be everything to everybody, but be or mean absolutely nothing to yourself. See, you allowed yourself to become last. See, the people that use you up, they already done put you last anyway. I mean, they put their needs ahead of yours. As soon as they drag your little pretty self up in it, you basically are taking on the responsibility of everybody else. Ain't nobody think about you. Ain't nobody think about you. Like, for real. They basically said, bump your life. Bump your aspirations. I need you to stop what you're doing to come help me, because I'm the one that's more important than anything that you're doing. See, you got to read through the stuff. You got to sift through the stuff, because essentially, that's what people are saying to you. That's what they saying to you. Bump your stuff. Your stuff ain't that important. Your weight loss ain't that important. Your promotion isn't that important. That relationship you in, it ain't that important. But me, come see me, help me. And because you're that mother, because, you're that good boo mate, you stop what you're doing. You set everything to the side. And you wonder why, at the end of the day, you feel drained. You wonder why, at the end of the day, when you lay in your bed, you're frustrated because you ain't gotten anything done. You're frustrated with your life already because, if you're anything like me, you're like, dang, I'm not where I need to be. But here's the frustrating part. You never arrive because people are always preventing you and people are always using you. Again, they have that mentality of, I need you to stop what you're doing because my stuff is more important than you. And when you sit down your stuff, basically, you're in agreement. When you stop living, when you put, and this is when you put your life to the side, you're essentially in agreement with what the person is saying. Well, I was getting excited about this weight loss. I was getting excited about starting this new business, but you need money, so let me stop. Oh, well, you need a place to stay. Let me stop. Oh, you need me to come pick up. Oh, let me stop what I'm doing because the grandkids or the kids need this. And now, again, you had established momentum, but then they raised their little hand up and you stop. If you're guilty, say, Coach, you talking to me. Say you talking to me. Say you talking to me. If I'm talking to you, say, Coach, you talking to me. Now, the third part of this deal, and the reason why you struggle, and the reason why I got a whole bunch of you talking to me coach on a whole bunch of different platforms. Number 3 reason why you struggle with your life and why drama is not for you. You say yes to people. When I say this, you're going to be like, dang, you talking to me again. You say yes to people who in crunch time always tell you no. Let me say that again. You say yes to people who are always telling you no. You bend over backwards for people who won't even bend a stretch for you. Let me say it again. You bend over backwards, you break your neck for people who won't even stretch for you. And that leaves you drained. Again, whenever stuff is on the line, somebody needs money for a car, or if they're X amount of months behind and they need you to help them so their car won't get repossessed, or they're about to get put out and they need a down payment for that apartment or that house. They come to you for that, but when you're in need, you call. They already know because, you know, they got that little system and they got that little network to where everybody talks about what's going on with you. So, girl, you know she's struggling. You know, so when she calls, she calling about this. You pick up the phone and again, you done been over backwards. Time after time, you done came through time after time after time. And then when you call, it goes straight to voicemail. You sit back because you realize what's going on. And you say, you know what? I'm hurt and I'm bothered because all these years I've always come through. When I had, you had. But in this rare circumstance, in this rare occasion, when I need you, you can't be found. So again, that leaves you drained. It hurts you and it leaves you drained because you've given your best to people. And they can't and they won't return the same thing back to you. Stop letting people drain you. Tony Ollie, I'm going to ask you a question. Let me find Tony. Tony, let me ask you a question. Let me bring Tony in. See if I can bring Tony in. And the question I'm going to ask Tony is this. Have you ever been over backwards for somebody who won't even stretch for you? Hey, Tony. Hey, and thank y'all everybody for sharing this broadcast. Share this broadcast for me, please. Thank you. Tony, have you ever been guilty of bending over backwards for somebody who won't even stretch for you?
You mean like this week? You talking about?
Yeah. This week?
Yes.
This week?
Yes.
How did it make you feel?
Used. Makes me feel hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, hurt.
Okay.
And mad. It makes me mad.
Mad. Okay. Now let me ask you this. Do you deal with dramatic people?
I say that I don't, but evidently I do.
Evidently, if for the people on the broadcast, if you got a lot of dramatic people in your life, say, I do, coach.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how have they kind of gotten in your way, or have they gotten in your way from getting to where you need to be? Have they become obstacles and stumbling blocks for you at times?
Yes, because they become distractions. So,
okay.
Like you were saying a few minutes ago, what will happen is something will happen and they will call, or I will have to do something, which takes me away from what I have planned for my day to do.
Okay.
So I will look up and the whole day is gone spent running around, driving people around, picking people up, sending people money. And I haven't done anything that I need to do for myself and my business. And the whole day gone. And now I'm tired and I don't feel like doing it because I'm exhausted.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the people around you take you for granted?
Absolutely.
And why?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I allow them to.
Say that one more time.
Because I allow them to.
Okay. Say it one more time.
Because I allow them to.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to that first point that I made about people being selfish. And when you put things down, basically you're in agreement. When you put your stuff down, that their stuff is more important than yours.
Yeah. I never looked at it like that. I never looked at it like that.
You never looked at it that way. Okay. So
I never looked at it like that.
So you have a big future. Your future is huge. Question.
Yes, it is.
How do you keep dramatic people out of your life? How do you basically set them over here so you can attain your goals and your dreams? Because selfish people won't allow you to finish your stuff. You do know that, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely learning that. So what I have to do is I have to learn how to just say no and just completely stay out of it. Just let them handle it. Because I don't have anything to do with it. I don't have anything to do with it. Okay,
let me ask you this. How have you let people suck you in?
Well, I'm one of the people that has a grandson.
Okay.
And I only have one.
Okay.
So that's a big heartstring. That's something that sucks me in real fast and real quick.
Okay, let me ask you something. And this will help you, and this will probably help out a lot of people. Are you closer to 70 or closer to 20?
70.
You're closer to 70. So you, like everybody else that's watching this, you're on the clock, just like we all are, right?
Right.
So you don't have time to waste.
Not a second.
Okay.
Not a second to waste.
Huh?
I don't have a second to waste.
You don't have a second to waste.
Mm-mm.
Because this is the thing. We're all on the clock, so we got to make every day count. We got to make every day count. So at some point, and how old is your daughter?
28.
Okay, she's almost damn near 30. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being, let me ask you this. Are you one of those people who like to step in and save people?
I used to be. I will admit that I used to be, but over the last couple of years, I have learned, and I learned most of this from you, that I need to step back and let people save themselves.
Okay.
Because I can't save everybody and myself too. So it's either gonna be them or me.
Okay. Well, this is the big takeaway. This is the big takeaway from everybody. And I'm going to ask this question. You answer this. Were you there when your daughter laid up with baby daddy? Were you there?
No.
Okay, so my point is that ain't your thing. You gotta let people grow up. And I'm saying this not only to you, but a lot of people who are watching this, because a lot of people that I know who are watching this, they're enablers. So they're enablers. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They're enablers. So it's kind of like you sacrifice your stuff until your kid gets her stuff together. By the time she gets her stuff together, she's in her 40s, and that will put you in your 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
What good are you gonna be late in life if you just really starting over? Because you hear me say this all the time. You can never finish if you're always starting over. So if you're starting over at 50, 60, you can't do it. You can't do it. So you gotta stop enabling people, and you just gotta let people grow. And I'm talking, not only am I talking to you, I'm talking to everybody else who fits this description, and you know who you are. Because again, we marry up into our children's lives and basically take on parent part 2. This is the time when you're supposed to basically be sitting back as grandma, seeing kid every once in a while, and doing grandmommy things. But you're supposed to be, you done raised everybody. You've raised your days of raising should be over. You should not be raising anybody else. This is your time. You should you should be traveling. You should be increasing your business, and you should just be focused on Tony. Again, you served your time as parent. So this is your time to get your stuff together and be like, shoot, I got to ride hard for the next 10, 15, 20 years so I can just be cool later on down the line, because this is your grind time right here.
Yeah.
For the people who are watching this, if you know, and you know who you are, if you are an enabler, say you talking to me, coach. Because I know I'm talking to a lot of people who are watching. Say, throw your hand up. You'll feel better. Just throw your hand up. If you're one of those people who enable everybody around you, but at the end of the day, your stuff is unaccomplished, you're sad, you're depressed, you're drained, and you hadn't even got to your personal stuff yet. You're drained because of somebody else's stuff.
Right.
Say it. Just go ahead and throw your little hands up. I see hands popping up on all the stuff. Yeah, all them hate. Yes, I'm talking to all of y'all. All of y'all. Yeah. So this is what I want you. This is what I want everybody to take away from tonight. If you didn't participate in the mess, stop participating in the stress. A lot of y'all just kill yourselves because of other people. Again, that's because of your kids. That's because of that job you be slaving over. That if you died on Friday, they'll have people trying out for your job on Monday. Yep. So don't be killing yourself over a job that can replace you in 3 days. You gotta just stop. And I know, and this is for everybody. I know you want the best for the people around you, but sometimes you gotta want it more for yourself. Because again, if you're not going to put yourself first now, when? When everybody's 40 and you're 60, you can't do it. You tired. Your mind bad, your body bad, you're probably tired, and you're probably about to run out of gas. This is your time to start putting yourself first. And I'm talking to everybody. This is the time where you really have to lock in on what do I want? Bump everybody else. Again, everybody's grown. Everybody should be gone. But you got to ask yourself, what do I really want? What's important to me? Who do I have to leave alone in order for me to attain? Because the worst thing you can do is get to the end of your life and say, dang, I sure wish I would have. God says to you, but why didn't you? And your excuse is, I couldn't because my kids. I couldn't because I felt obligated to raise other people's children. So I never got to see the better version of me because somebody else who was selfish sucked me on in and I felt obligated. So I never got to see my real and true self because I felt obligated. Even past the expiration date of when you let people go or when you're supposed to let people go. And yes, I'm talking to people who are in them badass relationships too. You wasted some of the best years of your life on that dude who wouldn't marry you. Or you wasted all that time on a dude who never thought much of you, but you hung in there anyway. You 3, 4, 5 years in, no, he ain't good for you, but you hang in there. Stop wasting time. Again, time is of the essence. Stop wasting time on that bad relationship. Don't let your kids suck you in. Because again, you have a destiny to fulfill. You do. Right. You have a destiny, and it's that important. It's that important. So, can we agree, everybody that's watching, you're going to be a little bit selfish. You're going to be a little bit, if you agree to be selfish, say I agree. You're living your life for everybody else, and everybody else is allowing you to do it. So for the people that's watching, you're kind of like a co-conspirator. People use you up, but you're a co-conspirator. You're part of the problem. You're a co-conspirator. You let it happen. So can we all agree that instead of letting you use you up, that's what I need everybody to do. Instead of allowing everybody else to use you up, you use you up. Can we agree? I need for you to suck the life up out of you versus allowing somebody else to suck the life out of you.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be selfish because I'm amazed every day how, again, we'll do everything for everybody else, but feel bad when it comes to doing stuff for yourself. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like, I know people who are watching right now who, if they had to buy something, they'd feel kind of guilty, or they would think about doing it because of somebody else. But when somebody else asks for that same amount of money, then they will gladly give it over. You got to start being, everybody who's watching this, you got to start being selfish about you. Use you up. Use you up. Give yourself permission to use yourself up versus allowing everybody who, and let's face it, can we all be transparent? The people who use you up really don't care about you like that. Can we all agree? The people who use you up the most, they're selfish and they only care about themselves. And here's the sad part, and I'm talking to everybody. Here's the sad part. And this is just based upon me living. This is what I've noticed with people. People will use you up. You die and pass away. They'll latch on to somebody else, whether it be that man or, that family member. They'll find somebody else to latch on to replace you.
Right.
And most of the time, it's that relationship that they will hop on. It could be just as bad as anything. But again, just like that job situation that, I was explaining about, if you die on Friday, they'll be taking resumes on Monday. That's the same deal with the people who use you up.
Right.
Guaranteed. They'll make your hair gray, get your blood pressure all high, contribute to your death, and then next thing you know, after you good and cold and in the ground, they'll hop to somebody else who basically replaced you. So let's all be selfish. That's the topic of the night. Let's all be selfish. Let's just all be selfish. I'm going to leave everybody with this. And shoot, we're going to talk about something tomorrow too. You only have one life, y'all. You only have one life down here. You only have one life down here. Okay? The worst thing you can do is waste days. Because wasted days turns into wasted weeks, turns into wasted years. And again, this is the thing. You have a lot of stuff to do. You have a destiny to fulfill. If you go to bed and there's a certain vision in your head in terms of how you should be living and it doesn't match up, but yet you spend the next day doing something else that doesn't lead you to your final destination, to your huge goal, that leads to frustration. That's why a lot of y'all frustrated. You can't get on track. I can't tell you how many people have told me, hey, coach, I've fallen off the wagon. Why have you fallen off the wagon? 9 times out of 10, it's because of somebody else. It's because of a situation with somebody else. They were good and focused, but all it took was somebody getting a phone call, collect call from Perry Correctional Institution, you getting in your car, now you having to deal with your kid's issue for months because he done got in trouble. Or your daughter needs to come home because she was in a busted up relationship. Now you can't focus because now you taking on the extra responsibility versus focusing on your goal. So your goal never gets achieved, but you get used up in the process. So for everybody that's watching, this is go time. You're on the clock, y'all. You're on the clock. Let's get selfish. Let's get selfish. Last thing. If you agree to become selfish one more time, throw your hand up. And look, if this was for you, if this whole thing was for you this evening, say you were talking to me. This was for me, coach.
This was for me.
That was for you. If this was for you, say that's for you.
Yeah.
That was for you. Time to get selfish, babies. It's time to get selfish. It's time to get selfish. Stop doing everything for everybody. Because again, this is the sad reality. People will let you get used up. Selfish people don't care. The only thing selfish people care about is self. That hits the word selfish. Selfish definition. Selfish definition. I am about me. Selfish does not mean I am about you. There's no part of the word selfish that correlates itself to being giving. There's no part of the word selfish that basically screams out, I'm all about you, Tony. I'm all about, there's nothing about it that says, I'm all about you, Moni love. There's no part of selfish that says, hey, Lonnie, I'm for you. I'm Team Lonnie. When you use the word selfish, it means I'm about me. And if you're that enabler, and I feel there's a responsibility that you should be helping me and you're the enabler, guess what? You've lost. You've lost. You've lost. Because again, you're in agreement. You're in agreement. Again, when you set your stuff to the side, and again, you're dealing with something, and this will be the last thing I say and I leave it alone. Sometimes you have to start identifying selfish people in your life. Sometimes you just have to just say, this person is selfish. This person is all about self. And then you just got to label them. See, y'all don't label people. I label people. Let me identify you and stamp you on your forehead and brand you as being selfish. That's all I'll see. Yeah, you remember on the movie Black Panther when they would put their bottom lip down and then to say something. Yeah. See, that's kind of like me. If I've identified you as being selfish and you are about you, I've already stamped you. Now I know how to deal with you. Now I know how to deal with you. Because I already know who you are. You've already shown me who you are. I'm not going to be the type of person to where I see who you are and I'm going to ignore who you are. I don't play those type of games. Once I've labeled you and I branded you and I've stamped you, that's what your name is. Your name is selfish. Every time I see you coming, here comes selfish. Here comes selfish. Boom, my guard is up. And anytime you ask me something, I'll say no because I know it's not benefiting me. You're not unselfish. You're what? Selfish. And that's what I need for all of y'all to start doing. Start identifying people in your life that don't mind taking from you. Don't mind using you. Don't mind abusing you. And then you handle them accordingly versus I'll just ignore it because that's my kid. My kid wouldn't do that. Really? Really? Right. So start identifying people. And again, this is your time. This is your time. Shamara says, yes, I will put you in a box in a corner real quick. I can't do selfish people either. But this is where we get in trouble with people because they wear our last names. And when I say this is going to resonate with somebody. A lot of times when we share last names with people, and I used to be guilty of this. I'm not guilty of this anymore. Sometimes when people share the last name that we have, we give them passes for being selfish because we don't identify them. We'll identify somebody we work with as selfish. We'll identify somebody that we date as being selfish. We'll identify a friend as being selfish, but never mama, never daddy, never auntie, never sister, never brother, but that's my son. That's my daughter. As I would always say, you don't need enemies when you have family. You don't need enemies when you have family. Your haters, you already know. They've already identified themselves as being haters. But family is different because in our minds, you should want the best for me because we're family. That's not how it goes. Again, haters is easy because haters already been said, I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't want to deal with you. I don't wish you well. I don't want the best for you. But family is a different beast because family, in your mind, you're thinking, you're my blood. See, we say the cliche stuff. You're my blood. You're my family. You're my cousin. But as soon as you start getting a little prestige, as soon as you start accomplishing stuff, as soon as you move into that house, as soon as you start driving the ride they wish they had, things change a little bit. Last question, I'll let you go. Tony, since you got the Audi, why you put your hand on your head when I said that? But since you got the Audi, pretty white Audi, how has your life changed with your friends and your family? We talk about drama and we talk about hate right now. Go ahead. How has your life changed when you bought the pretty Audi? Talk to me.
Well,
okay.
My friends have become few. The ones that I thought were my friends. Very few. Like this, probably like this.
About like that. Few.
Very few.
Oh.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah, very few.
Okay. Now, before you go on to the next part, but at some point you probably have done a lot for them, correct?
Absolutely.
But when you got something new that they probably wanted, that changed, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to the point of, and this is for everybody, stop doing more for other people than you would do for yourself. Stop doing more for others than you would do for yourself. Being giving is great, but you have to be selective on who you give your greatness to. Yesterday, I made the point of you are an honor, you are a privilege. Anybody who's in your midst is privileged because you're special. There's millions of people, but there's only one of you. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the deal. Start being, and this is for everybody, start being a little bit more selective about who you give your stuff to. See, and this is how I work. I give a lot to people who don't ask me for nothing. Again, when I deem you selfish, I don't give you nothing. But when you have the attitude of service, when you have the attitude of what can I do for you, it makes me want to do for you.
Right.
But when you sing me a swan song, and I know y'all probably have family members who done sung you, swan songs such as, but why don't you do this for me and you do this for them, but why not me? Again, it's an honor and a privilege to be in your presence. So can we all agree that kind of like what you were saying with your circle being smaller, everybody reduce your stuff. Can we agree? Everybody just reduce your stuff. Reduce your circle. Because everybody who's in your life right now will not make it to the end of your journey. That's just straight up, that's just true. A lot of people ain't gonna make it. You already seen what happened when you got the ride. How your circle went from here to here.
Yeah.
Moving to that mansion. Moving to that mansion.
Yes, sir.
But look, moving to that $500,000 house or that $1 million house, $4 million house. You think you got haters now. Just wait.
Yeah.
But it goes back to you got to be about you. And you got to be about you. And that's what's up. So everybody, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Queen Ola, thank you for hanging.
Thank you for having me.
Look, that's how we roll. So the biggest takeaway, everybody, become selfish. Y'all some of the most givingest people on the planet, but you're too giving to a fault. Anytime you're giving to your own detriment, because you're dealing with selfish people, I look at you and I point the finger at you as being the problem. Because again, once you've identified people as being selfish, that's when you got to back up and back away. And you got to pause. And I don't care who it is. I do not care who it is. I don't care if you were born from them or you bore them. Because again, the people who wear your last name will wear your behind out 10 times out of 10. So let's be selfish because you got some awesome stuff to do. So love y'all. Have a great evening. And thank y'all for hanging with me. Love each and every single last one of you.